All right, welcome to Comfortably Uncomfortable. You've got Sandy and Alex here, and we are here to empower women to choose courage over comfort by getting comfortably uncomfortable. We get real and cut through the bullshit. Are you ready to get a little weird? Because we're going to laugh, sweat, cry, and grow together.
No topic is going to be TMI. Well, maybe for me, but not for Sandy. We complement each other in that way. Okay, so are we ready?
Well, yeah, duh, I am, but are you?
Okay, let's go.
The one with the sugar. Aw, sugar. All right, Alex, is sugar good?
Is sugar good?
Is sugar bad?
Sugar's so good.
Is sugar bad?
That's a loaded question.
Thank you. So you don't want to answer that because you're like, no. If I say yes, then no, because it's hard to tell these days. Like,
it is.
Sugar's all over the place. But what if I were to tell you like you need sugar, like your body needs sugar?
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, I know that. Yeah, I'm with you.
So but is sugar bad?
What kind of sugar?
I mean, you tell me.
Right. Well, there's plenty of sugar in, like you said, everything. It's hidden everywhere, right? Lots of bad sugar.
Is it bad? Is it bad? This is where it's gonna get. I mean, let's get uncomfortable right away. Like, you wanted right away to put it in categories of like, this sugar's good, this sugar's bad.
Yeah.
Why?
I've found myself actually trying to categorize this a lot for my kids as we talk about nutrition and being really, really careful about what I say and saying, no, it has too much sugar in it. No, you can't eat that. And so my kids are like, sugar's bad. But I mean, obviously they crave it. They want it. They eat it because I think everything in moderation is good. But I think what you're really trying to goad me into talking about is is sugar in fruit, right?
What about sugar in fruit? I don't know. We could go all over the place. You know, I'm itching. I like doing this to you. You're like, where are my points? I want to be prepared. Yeah, and here comes Sandy of like, la, la, la.
I have my fruit sugar point ready, but she like won't let me say it. Okay.
No, the whole point is you're like every other person I know and have met and I see on Instagram. It's like we so quickly want to like, and not to like, you know, put you in the hot seat because, you know, I love you, but you're just so genuine in your reactions. You can't hide it. And it's so good. I love it. It's that we so want to categorize it. We want to put it in a box, bad, good. And yeah, when we talk about sugar with our kids, it's like, yeah, we get it that for them, they need to associate something and like, you know, put it one place or another. But I also think we don't give them enough credit of knowing that it's more complex than saying sugar's good or sugar's bad. I mean, chemically speaking, your sugar is the breakfast of champions. Like, your glucose runs the system. If you don't have glucose, which is one form of sugar, fructose, sucrose, all of these different kinds of chemical sugars live in your body. Right. And like, talk about sugar drop, right? Brain fog, all these things that happen to you physiologically when you don't have enough sugar. Yet we know that sugar is everywhere. And I know you want to get to it, so I'll let you get to it. But one of the hot topics right now is sugar in fruit. And I can't tell you how many times people are like, fruit's bad for you. You'll gain weight if you have fruit. You'll be obese if you have fruit. Yeah. And what do you say to that? How do you feel about that?
Kind of, I think it's one of those cyclical trends that, unfortunately, speaking from personal experience and what I see in the world, has just lived on for way too long. Like, my relationship with fruit and it being a bad sugar was when I gained my freshman 15 and I needed a way to lose it. And I did South Beach. And that is like, no sugar, no way. I mean, they tell you to like put Splenda on ricotta cheese to like, you know, satisfy that sweet tooth.
But isn't Splenda sugar?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's like, it's chemicals, isn't it?
So it's artificial sugar.
Yes. Right. But it wasn't,
So
Well,
again, like you're you're getting it, it's just at a lower, denser calorie or no calorie, yet it's artificial sweetener, sugar, something that your body craves, right?
I mean, right. So I guess my point is like it just was denying natural sugars and
Mm.
replacing it with something like that. Now, they weren't telling you to do that at every meal, but I just became it became a habit not to eat fruit, right? When you like listen to a certain diet and it works for you, even if it's a short amount of time. I mean, it's not one that I've ever really gone back to. Um, but there are plenty of other ways of eating that really reduce sugar, like, paleo and a lot of the other really popular ways of eating diets these days. So I just didn't really put it into my diet that much. I mean, my kids eat it constantly, and I know it's good for them, but I just kind of thought, no, it's too much sugar for me, right? So
Yeah,
silly. But
it is
I'll drink
silly.
my sugar. I'll have my wine instead. But
Right. So this is no, you bring up such a good point, and I just want to make sure people hear what we're saying is like fruit isn't bad. It's
mm-hmm.
not a bad sugar and it's
No,
not going to make you fat.
right.
The fruit in itself, the sugar in itself is not bad, right? So we keep wanting to put these morality labels to food, and the truth is because we are emotionally invested in our position on food or sugar or anything. And this is where it comes back to the conversation of why and why
Mm-hmm.
you're consuming the sugar, why you're craving the sugar. And the challenge here is looking at your relationship with sugar,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because when I
Yeah.
heard you say of like the freshman 15 and maybe there was a lot of drinking involved when
Yeah.
you were
Well,
there.
yeah. So it's right. It like goes back to that mindset, or like there's an emotional attachment with that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. I mean, we'll get into this in the next episode where we talk about like detox cleanse type things. But I did a kind of reset of my eating in January, and I followed a pretty strict program. And one of the things that was included a lot was fruit. And I've
And probably felt
never,
weird
I
about it.
mean,
Yeah.
I was uncomfortable with it. I was uncomfortable eating that much fruit in a day. And it definitely took some getting used to. And I've been incorporating it more, which I love. I mean, I love the taste of fruit, but I would never have allowed myself to eat that much fruit in a
And it was
day.
because of your bias that you had from your
Yeah.
experience. I
Yeah.
won't say so long ago, but a couple of years
Well,
ago back in
yeah.
college. And this is what comes up time and time again that I see that talking about. They're like, but don't you have a position on sugar? And I'm like, sure, sugar, your body needs sugar. There's
Right.
a reason why as kids we are more prone to having sugar things because it's what we need. Again, in this culture, which is a whole nother episode, we go to this all or nothing mentality. It's either all or nothing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we can't be in this it depends.
Yeah.
It's the gray. And that's where sugar comes in of we can spend hours, days talking about the different types of sugar and how your body processes it. And just like you were wanting at the beginning of saying, oh, well, some sugar's good, some sugar's bad. There's glucose, fructose, sucrose, maltose, galactose. I'm not even pronouncing all of these right. Lactose, like all of these things are sugar that your body is processing and
Yeah.
using. The issue comes in, and it's as simple as this: when you consume too much and don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not hey, this one sugar is bad versus this other sugar is bad. The thing about fruit is it's more than just sugar.
Right.
You got micros, you got vitamins, you got minerals that are in there
Mm-hmm.
that, and I'm sorry, but this is where it comes back to this whole idea of shifting your continuum of from good bad and going to like towards or away. That's how I like to say it of what's your why? Why are you doing X, Y, and Z? And then evaluate it. And is it shifting you towards what you're wanting or away
Right.
from what you're wanting?
Right.
Because the number one thing I have when people come to me for nutrition advice and we talk about it, they're like, are you going to take away my wine and chocolate? I'm like, hell no. You want that? You like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, enjoy it, have it, but let's talk about your relationship with it. And that's the key part, and the most important thing with anything is your relationship with it. And I think that's the thing that makes most of us uncomfortable. You just touched on that, of like, you were starting to get uncomfortable with eating more and more fruit in this quote unquote, restart diet.
Yeah.
And you're, but, and now how do you feel? Like, how, show us a little bit through that process of like, what is that? What did you have to shift? What did you have to change?
I think I just had to like literally ignore. Like I follow the directions. I'm not a measuring cup person. I don't like, even when I'm cooking, I don't really go off recipes. I'm not a measuring person. But I was really like, if it said a cup of blueberries in my green smoothie, like I measured a cup of blueberries because there's no way I would have put that much in. And it was like truly like a physical, like getting over it, putting it into my food and having an apple as a snack. Like, yeah, maybe I would have had like a couple slices with almond butter, but like a full apple. I think it's very rare that I would eat a full apple. Um, so it was, I mean, I felt great. I don't mean it
Yeah, because
certainly,
it's energy.
it
And
gave me everything I needed. Right. And like I had some berries like right before this, and it was totally the energy I needed. Right. It's same with like eating bread and carbs. And again, like, this topic could just go on and on and on, going back to sugar and how it,
and sugar is under
converts
the
into sugar.
umbrella. Yeah. And sugar is under the umbrella of carbohydrates, right? So
Right.
we're
Right.
specifically talking
Talking about
sugar
every,
because
yeah.
that is like the trigger of sugar, sugar, sugar.
Yeah.
And yes, like I worked in pediatric obesity, and we talk about why we want to limit sugar in kids. And it wasn't because it's bad, it's because it's constantly available to them.
Right.
And moving them towards having those natural sugars in fruit, not because that sugar is quote unquote better. It really, our bodies consume it the same, but we're depleting our bodies from the vitamins, the minerals, and the things that come with these whole foods that are found in nature. And so that's the thing. It's like, I'll let you have your chocolate. I want you to have that cookie, that slice of cake, and what it is.
Right.
But if you're looking at your day, your week, your weekend, and you're towards the place where it's all of this processed, easy, accessible sugar, you're moving away from the idea of giving your body those adequate minerals,
Right.
vitamins, other things that your body needs. I mean, we're all about being efficient, bang for your buck. If you want to be the most efficient, that whole food is going to be the one that's going to give it to you. Because if not, you're going to be spending way more money on supplements, on filling the gap, getting the holes. But I'm going to say it again, sugar is not bad. And that's going to make a lot of us uncomfortable. They're going to be like, no, 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 sugar's bad. I mean, your kids are like, Stella, we talk about it too. Like, no, you want that lollipop? Okay. You get to have that and this, or eat this first and then let's see how it is. And, it's funny because when you don't say no and you don't say don't, and you don't like, that reverse psychology, like they're less likely to want to like fight you for it. When you're like, oh, sure. Okay. Whatever. And that is what I found most amazing, because just like kids, we're the same in the adults. It's like, if somebody tells us we can't have it and it's bad, it's naughty, you want it even more.
All you want. Yeah. I was having this conversation with my husband the other day of like, you're doing it right if you see little bits of progress, right? Like if you see this drastic drop because you've eliminated all these things from your diet, if your body's depleted, maybe you would lose weight, or it's just finding that healthy balance.
Absolutely. And what I like to tell people is your quote unquote diet or your, daily actions that we talked about should be doable on your worst day. If you can't do it on your worst day, then you need to reevaluate that daily action, right? Because if it's so structured and so depleting or so rigid that you can't do it on your worst day of things all broke loose and I don't know what's happening. Why do I have a toddler running around naked, going outside in -5? That's never happened to me. Yes, it has. Like, and then I'm worried about, oh crap, like I'm not eating X, Y, and Z and it's not on my quote unquote diet or cleanse or whatever. Like, then it's probably not moving you towards what you want. If these small steps and these sugar cravings that you have, instead of telling you, no, I can't have that. It's bad. That's bad. That's bad. Talk about the shame that comes in. Like, talk about all those things that we've already previously talked about. Then you're having to fight that and have that battle. Where if you accept it, and this is where it makes us uncomfortable, if you would rather have your glass of rosé at the end of the night and not have the apple, let's talk about why and own it. Own it. Because your body's going to intake those sugars the exact same way. You're just moving away from having those vitamins and minerals that the apple's providing or the banana's providing. And when you have that glass or 2 or 3 or 4 of rosé, you're moving towards perhaps having a high blood alcohol content and not wanting to know what's happening and going on. So at the end of the day, it is your relationship and checking in with how you do with this whole all or nothing. And I can guarantee you, I will live by this. If you live by all or nothing, that's when you quote unquote fail. That's when you don't succeed. That's when you crash and burn.
Yeah. I'm finding it so interesting just having this conversation because hopefully you all can tell, for better or for worse, but we don't script this, right? We just are trying to have a conversation about a topic and sort of see what comes up. But I can relate what we're talking about to just about every episode that we've talked through already. This all or nothing approach and is not going to get you anywhere that you want to go, but being kind to yourself and living in this, trying to find this balancing act, whether it is food, whether it's movement, whether it's, work, family life, all of these different things that we've talked about, and, giving yourself that grace, allowing that balance in your life, and, moving towards your goal with the habits.
Going towards or away. And you know what? Some nights you're going to own your why and be like, yep, I'm moving away from my goal because I'm having that glass of rosé, but I am headed towards the whatever I need, instant gratification right now.
I know that feeling.
Right. And that's okay to have, and that's fine. And that's where it's like, again, you're not a failure. You're not unworthy of love. It's more of just owning your why. And once you own your why, you will start to quickly realize that there's no longer morality, good or bad, boxes about anything. And so your challenge this week is #CUSugar and show us your sugar, whether it's the fruits, it's the rosé, it's that chocolate cake that's just been yearning. I was PMSing last week and Lordy, did I want all the sugar, all sorts of kinds of sugar. Mine's that Trader Joe's cookie butter ice cream. Oh, yes. Okay. So show us your sugar, #CUSugar, own it, claim it. Let's not bring shame to it, and know that you're doing it for you and you know your why.
Yes. All right. That sounds great. So show us your #C, letter U, sugar. Thanks for being here today, friends.
Thank you for showing up today. Getting awkward is always more fun with friends. Give us a review, tag us, and share us so we can continue to grow together.
Use #CUPod, letter C, letter U, or tag us. You can find Sandy on Instagram at sweatandShineOn and Alex at aj.afterbabyfit on Instagram and afterbabyfit on Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you next time.